Hello. Still 1:45, because it's always 1:45 in my kitchen. So thank you for the comments. A lot of you comment on Facebook, so those don't actually transfer over to YouTube. So feel free to leave comments below. I appreciate when you do read them and think about them and consider everything that's said in them. So I appreciate that. So somebody had direct messaged me, a friend of mine, about my thoughts about forgiveness. And in this particular case with this person, whom I've known a long, long time, she just had the worst and shitty upraising of any person I think I've ever known. And she wanted to know if how I felt about forgiveness, and if she has. I don't want to tell too much of the story because I don't want to give away or even hint at who this might be. So this person, like of any person I know who would have a reason not to forgive a parental figure, this person has one. And actually, both parents, her biological parent and then the step parent. So, and her question was like, how can you, how can I forgive this person? And I think the people have been out of her life for a long, long time, like a long, long time. So, but it did impact every single ounce and cell of her life, from then to now, and will continue to impact her until she leaves her physical body, which hopefully will be a long, long time from now. So this is about forgiveness, and this is, a request. So forgiveness is tough. Forgiveness is hard because we are limited to our human understanding of any given situation, and we're very limited in how we understand the bigger picture of why something happens to us and doesn't happen to somebody else, right? Something horrible and bad. And in this case, suffice it to say, this is horrible and bad. I am not a psychiatrist or psychologist. I did remind my friend of that, and she seemed to understand. So I can offer nothing of professional quality, and she does get professional help, so, and has for years. So I think she was just asking as a friend, like what my take is on it. And it is hard to forgive people who do awful things. And not being an expert, and never having gone through anything like this person has gone through, I don't feel qualified to even speak about the kind of forgiveness that she would have to exude to forgive what happened to her, because it was horrible. So I can only rely on forgiveness as I understand it, and in the parameters of divine love as I understand them. So forgiveness is often not about the other person. Forgiveness is about you, right? And what you're carrying in your backpack, your spiritual backpack. And hate and hurt weigh a bazillion pounds, right? Long distance hikers, we try to keep our packs really light. I don't take anything I don't need with me on the trail because I don't want to have to lug it around up and down rocks, right? Your spiritual backpack, the thing that you carry through life, you place in there these rocks and these stones, and they're big and they're awful. Like, they're horrible, horrible things that have happened. But all it does is weigh you down, right? It's weighing your backpack down, because that person who did that awful, horrible thing to you, they're not carrying that in their spiritual backpack, because, to put it bluntly, they were an asshole in the first place, right? So they're not, they weren't considering you when they did this horrible thing to you. So they're not carrying that around. You're carrying it around. So you can forgive and not forget, right? And you can let it go for your well-being. You can write it down, light it on fire, and watch it go up in smoke, and you can release the burden of that pain out of your backpack. Doesn't mean you're ever going to forget about it. Things that are horrible that happen, you're never going to forget those horrible things that happen, but you can let go of all the things that go with it. You can take charge of that. And that might take a therapist. That might take prayer or meditation. And it is hard because, in this particular case and others like it, like this, the actions that happened impacted this person for her entire life, every single angle of her life. And how do you forgive something like that, right? How do you forgive something so awful that, how can you forgive it? I don't know. I just know what I do know is that love weighs nothing, but pain weighs everything. And we can see that with even small things, right? Somebody cuts us off. We're driving on Route 22 and somebody cuts us off. We curse at them and we give them the finger and we're swearing at them. Like, who's carrying the burden right there? You are, right? That guy's cut you off and he's on his way, or she, right? They're off on their way. You're the one carrying the anger, the negativity, the angst. You're the one, having a moment. They're not, right? You are. So even small things, you choose what to carry in your backpack. And it's hard to let go of things. There's a lot of stuff that happened in my life that I found out about pretty recently, that required a whole lot of forgiveness for a whole lot of people who are all dead now, and I let it go. Just let it go. I let it go because I can't change any of it, right? Decisions were made, in the past, and 50 years ago, decisions were made in the past, that impact me now just because I know what they are, but in the great scheme of life don't really impact me all that much, except to bring some richness to my life, right? I get to meet new people, and I get to I've gotten to meet some very lovely, lovely, lovely people that are just, epically awesome people. So I choose to take the good from it instead of taking the hurt. But I wasn't always like that. At some point in my life, I would have been like this thing would have been so devastating to me, and how could A do B, or how could this person do that, and how did we get here, and holy shit, like this is the end of the world. And I attribute all of that to the spirit, because there was a time when I would have been like that. And now I'm just kind of like, can't change any of these things, but I can alter my response to it, and I can choose what to carry in my backpack. And so what I'm going to choose to carry in my backpack is love, right? I've talked in the previous video about my brother that disowned us. I don't carry that around with me. I carry love. If he ever comes back, there'll be love waiting for him. If he never comes back, it's okay too. There was love waiting for him anyway. And then, the love of the people that I have in my life, like my brother, that is alive, and part of my family, like, I'm part of my person now, right? Like, there's love for him always, so, love is light. Love is, I could go through the whole 1 Corinthians thing. You can read that on your own, but, love is patient and kind. Love is pure. And, I've quoted Shakespeare before, and I will quote him until the end of the days. Love doesn't real love does not change with the wind. It doesn't change when somebody hurts your feelings, and it doesn't change when somebody does a bad thing, right? True, pure love is pure, and it cannot be broken. And, at least that's the way I love. And people who love you hurt you. Sometimes that happens. You can love somebody that you can't be around. You can love somebody that's hurt you. You can love, there aren't parameters. I don't know how to say this right. Love is pure on its own. Divine love is love. Love, 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 right? The humanity that we all embrace makes our love imperfect, right? So, I have no doubt that this person loved, these people who treated her like absolute shit. And that love was pure, right? And she has to sort of reconcile that love, because her love was pure. They did not love her, because nobody who would love their child would do this to them. So she has to come to terms with that. And I don't know how to do that. And that is why we have psychiatrists and psychologists, right? Because they help you come to terms, and therapists. Like that's the work that they do, is help you come to terms with the people you love treating you so, so awfully. In most of our lives, the things are small. Somebody parked in your parking space. Hate them. Somebody stole your lawn chair. Hate them. Let it go. Let it go. Let light in. And that's not always, I'm a hothead. Before I went gray, I'm a stereotypical redhead, right? I fly off the handle for the dumbest stuff. And then I'm the one who has to carry that around. So don't carry it around, right? And if you've done something wrong, because sometimes we are the ones who bring pain. We don't mean to, right? I would hope, right? I'm assuming that everybody watching this has not intentionally caused pain upon another person. If you've caused pain and you're made aware of it, apologize. Say that you're sorry. Because if you love that person as a friend, you didn't mean to hurt them. You didn't mean to bring them harm or discomfort, right? So apologize and make whatever amends are necessary. Sometimes people will not accept your apology. You can't force people to accept your apology. You can't force people to listen to you or to react in a way that you want. But you know that your intention is 100%. So if you are truly apologizing, apologize. And sometimes we do things inadvertently and we just don't know that we're doing them, or we don't listen closely enough. We don't respond carefully enough. Whatever we do, sometimes we don't get it right, because we're human. Of course we don't get it right all the time. But when you're told, make amends, apologize, and be earnest and honest about it. And do better tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. There's always hope, right? There's always hope that tomorrow your backpack will be lighter, and that if you've wronged anybody, that they will come to you and say, hey, I don't know if you know this, but when you said X, that really hurt my feelings. And you can be like, oh, like I would be like, oh my God, that wasn't the case. I didn't mean to do that. Sometimes we just don't know that we've hurt somebody's feelings. But I always believe in hope, and I always believe in love. So I think at the end of the day, love always wins. Doesn't feel like that sometimes, but I do think that love always wins in the end. And, I can't fix what happened to my friend. A lifetime has gone by, and she's in so much pain. But I can't fix that for her. But what I can do is be a good friend to her. And so I always try to make sure that I pay attention to things that she's interested in. I try to send her love whenever I can. Things that I think that she will enjoy and like, jokes or cartoons or whatever. I try to be light in her life. I can't remove the darkness. I can't remove that cancer that was part of her life. I wouldn't know how, and I can't, because it's so tremendous. But I can bring light. So if you have an opportunity to bring light, bring light. If you have opportunity to say something kind and soothe somebody's soul, take it. It's such a reward for them, but it's really a reward for you. It's a reward to be able to be love in somebody's life, and for somebody to look at you and say, I know you know my story. How do I forgive this person? Can I ask you what you would do? And when I had to be honest and say, holy shit, I have no idea what I would do, because I know your story and it's a shitty one. But I can be love, and I can be light, and I can be a good friend and be honest about that. And so if you have an opportunity today to be light and love, I try to remember to be light and love. I have a little sticky that says be light and love. I don't always get it right. I probably get it wrong more than I get it right. But if you have, if an opportunity comes up that you can make somebody's journey in this world just a little bit better or brighter, do it. And especially do it for your friends, even if you're mad at them. My brother and I, we fight all the time. We are always at each other. More he's at me all the time, because he's very political and I'm not, and he gets mad that I'm not, right? But at the end of the day, I love the guy, and I'll do anything for him, and he knows that, and I know he'd do anything for me. So, be light, be love when you can be, and it's okay that you get it wrong sometimes. We're not perfect, right? But just be honest, I think is the number one principle. Be honest about what you can do and what you can't. Like, I can't fix this for my friend, but I can try to be light in her life, and when I can be. And when she needs a teeny little candle, she reached out, and so I wanted to talk about forgiveness as far as I understand it. It's an imperfect understanding. But I wish all of you light and love today. I hope you have a really, really awesome day. Be well. Bye-bye.